Hey, what is up, lovelies? It is Lynn the Gacha Goblin, and I've reacted to a few of these things before, and I really thought that I didn't need to react to something like this. I've gotten a few requests, though, for me to go ahead and give my take on what this situation is. So, Cosmopolitan has covered Love in Deep Space, and this is completely out of their purview. Like, this is not something that they usually do. If you know what Cosmopolitan is, it's a U.S. based magazine that is it's targeted towards women, right? It shows like the gossip that's happening, with like stars and like the latest fashion and like women geared trends, right. So I was very shocked to find out that they covered Love in Deep Space, but when I saw what the title was and I saw what people were saying about it, I was, I kind of shrugged it off and told myself, this is probably like the same shenanigans as all of the other news outlets that basically covered Love in Deep Space, saying women are more inclined to be dating AI and digital boyfriends and whatever. And I was just like, okay, whatever. But there have been some people like here Sapphires and Pearls, who has asked me to react to this and to give my point of view on it, so I might as well do it, right? And Sapphires isn't the only one who asked me to do this as well. There was somebody prior to this, like I think 2 days ago, who asked me to react to this as well, and I can't find, for the life of me, I can't find that tweet. I am so sorry to the first person who asked me to react to this, and I basically told them I don't know if I should. So I am so sorry. If it is you, let me know down in the comments below. And I'll say so. I'll apologize in person, guys. Not in person, but like, online. So let's go ahead and read the article. I've pulled it up. Here's Cosmopolitan. See, like, clearly you can tell that this is something for like a news magazine thing for women, because even the first thing here is saying best setting powders, style, beauty, pop culture, love, shopping, astrology is on here too, and even one of them is finding love on Roblox. This is very interesting. I think they're kind of just jumping out of their normal stuff. Like, I've never really subscribed to Cosmopolitan. Even when I was younger, there were always like these like hacks on how to lose weight, or best makeup tricks or whatever like that. So I never really paid attention to Cosmopolitan until now, apparently. So let's go ahead and read this article together and let's see exactly what is being said. This is made by a Tamara Fuentes, and it was published in May 29th. So it's been a while that this article has been out, which is very shocking to me because this is the first time that I've heard of it, and I think this is the first time somebody's noticed, So let's go ahead and react to this article. What I learned about dating from fighting monsters with my 5 fake boyfriends. Over the past 9 months, I've gotten more action playing a Chinese romance game called Love in Deep Space than I have on the apps. So, immediately, I'm already thinking to myself, okay, interesting. This is somebody who's actually played the game, who has actually, like, spent time in Love in Deep Space past the honeymoon phase, who actually got to see some of the cards and whatnot. So let's see where they're at with this. Now, if I can scroll. Last year, I saw an ad on TikTok for a story-based romance video called Love in Deep Space, a dating simulation otome game, a Japanese term that translates to maiden game. It's targeted to women and follows a female main character who has lived dozens of lifetimes in a futuristic reality full of monsters called Wanderers. Okay, so far, I like where this is going. Clearly, it's made by somebody who has played the game and knows what the story is about. And it's nice that they put a little explanation of what an otome game is. So that's really nice too. let's see. They also found love in deep space the same way I found love in deep space, and that's through TikTok. The twist, as you try to figure out the truth of the main character's many lives, you encounter 5 men she's had romantic connections with in her past. You go on dinner dates that turn into steamy encounters, you flirt over text, and at one point, you even fight battles in an alternate world. Thanks to aggressive marketing on TikTok and some sexy billboards in hotspots like Times Square, Love in Deep Space has become one of the biggest titles around the world. According to Sensor Tower, the game made $65.6 million in April 2025 alone. Love in Deep Space creator Infold Games revealed that 50 million players have joined the game in this first year. So, interesting. According to Sensor Tower, that is very interesting that they're using Sensor Tower. And yet, here I was talking to 5 different guys. This was my first proper Otome game. Okay, interesting. This is my first proper Otome game. From the moment I downloaded it, I was hooked. It was so simple. The relationships were established. The main character and her 5 boyfriends were soulmates, and even when the boyfriends end up in cages because you've been affected by a disease that makes them sexually feral, their history and loving characteristics were always still there. Okay, so this person has experienced Catch-22. Now, I'm actually very curious how active this individual has been in like the Twitter sphere, and also, just like online in the communities itself, because I'm curious to see if that has any effect on their experience playing the game, because I know that if you're in the communities themselves, your perspective of the game can get affected. So I'm curious to see if there was, if they're gonna mention anything like this here. Let's see. There were no hassles around dating and figuring out where we stand. The hard part of falling in love was gone. This could not be further from my actual dating experience. No matter how many times I reactivate my dating app profiles or attempt to talk to someone at a bar, I just can never seem to take dating seriously. It takes so much time and effort to find someone special. I don't have a long list of must-haves or wants. I'm simply looking for someone to put me first, to take a genuine interest in me, and make a decision or two instead of saying it's up to you. You know what? This is very realistic. I can agree. That is actually really interesting. Oh, view full post on YouTube? Yeah, boyo. What's this? Is this just a banner? Is this one of the banners? Oh, it is. Okay. I'm gonna close. Okay. While I'm known as the romance queen with my love for the genre in books, I'm an editor for Cosmo Reads, our romance imprint. Oh, interesting. Okay. That's I like that, because this person is very much, knowledgeable, I think, in the way that characters are written, and like the female gaze, and like how all of those things work together. TV and movies, I've never actually felt wanted or desired by anyone before, so I figured if it's never happened, why chase it? Facts. Facts, okay. And yet there I was talking to 5 different guys. The love interests in the game, Xavier, Zane, Raphael, Silas, and Caleb, all have their distinct personalities, jobs, and storylines. The main character is not exactly dating them all at the same time, but rather the user is going through different storylines. Nice. That is a nice way of putting it, especially since, if you get the cards, each card has a different storyline in it. If you're new to the game and you don't know this by now, the main story only focuses on like a neutral standpoint of the MC. You don't experience the romance in the main story, you experience the romance through the cards, and that's how they monetize the game. While I know these guys aren't real, the game does fill a void. Oh yeah, it does, it does. This means that each time I open the game, there's something different. I want to play with a virtual claw machine to win some plushies. One of the guys will use their special powers to help you. Need to study or work out? They'll be right by your side, motivating you along the way. Some memories feature romantic moments like the first time you spend the night together. You can even listen to recorded audio that includes spicy double entendres. One of my favorite moments in the game isn't a date at all. In one of Silas' storylines, the main character comes to one of his houses. Yes, he has multiple homes for his own safety because he runs a black market organization. This is actually really well written. After getting injured on a mission, he not only bandages her up, but also helps get rid of the enemies who are following her. Maybe it's because I'm the eldest daughter. I'm usually the one taking care of everything and holding it all together. But seeing her getting protected, feeling safe, and fully trusting someone else, to me, there's nothing hotter. Oh my god. This is resonating a little bit too much with me right now. Okay, while I know these guys aren't real and that they're not actually interacting with me, the game does fill a void. Dating in New York City often consists of little more than one night stands and basic conversations. Oh, they're from New York City. Damn, East Coast girl. Hey. Sorry. It can feel impossible to get to know a person. The boys of Love and Deepspace, on the other hand, actually listen to the main character's problems and yearn for her. Chatting with them feels similar to the moment when my favorite ship gets together on a TV show, or the enemies to lovers are forced to share a bed in the book that I'm reading. Oh, okay. Continue on. Only this time, it feels tailor-made for me. That's because the main character, who I named Tammy, my nickname, looks like me. While fiction created a safe haven for me to experience romantic feelings through the eyes of different characters, as a 5 feet tall, size 12 Latina, there is almost no representation of women like me in these stories. In Love and Deepspace, however, I am the sexy desired love interest. I am also a feisty fighter, unafraid to stand my own and never deterred by monsters or even a bad day at work. That's actually very interesting. So this person actually did like a full self-insert into the game. It's not like she didn't feel represented in any way, or she didn't mind what MC's love interest choices were, or like conversationally wise, because that also comes up in conversations about MC and like the quote-unquote hate against MC and all that shenanigans. So interesting that she was full send self-insert. Besides a confusing backstory about reincarnation, the character is a blank slate, which means almost anyone can place themselves in her shoes. Okay, you know that you're not actually her, but when a sexy doctor is confessing his love, well, you start to get some feelings. That is true. That is true. I mean, to be perfectly honest, my personal opinion, I am not MC, and MC is not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm watching the memories, the decisions she makes are not the same decisions I would make. So that's where like the parasocialness and the immersion breaks for me. The only time that I feel like I am the self-insert is like the home screen or the audio messages or the calls, those are the times where I feel like I am the one that the love interest is actually interacting with. So, very interesting. You know that you're not actually her, but when a sexy dog. Okay. In Love and Deepspace, I am the sexy desired love interest. That's not to say that I'm actually falling in love with these guys, nor do I feel like they could ever replace an actual dating life, but the game give me something my romantic side has always longed for. It's also a lot easier to stay in bed, log onto my account, and replay one of their scenes than find an actual person on a dating app to go on a very likely disappointing date with. Yeah. That is very true. I don't know, like there's just something, what my question is, was it like this so many years ago, or has the internet and all of our technology ruined the way that love is supposed to be? You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's also like the whole complication of like arranged marriages back then, but was it so hard to find somebody that you can connect to in conversation, in personal conversation with one another, as it is today? Because it feels almost impossible today. It feels almost so difficult to break that barrier of surface level conversation that people get stuck in. Whether you're on dating apps or whether you meet in person, there's just something there that's missing. There's like also like all of the games and stuff, and the paranoia of one, not being liked, and two, not knowing what other people's intentions are when you're talking. It's very confusing, and it overcomplicates finding a relationship, to be perfectly honest, in my eyes. Okay, next, I am definitely not the only person who feels that way. Clearly, I mean, come on, there's a whole community of people who just, enjoy talking about love in deep space. High spenders in the game get special VIP perks, including a gift box with handwritten notes from the love interest, and many women have said they'd rather spend their money on the guys in the game than go on actual dates. Facts. In China, where the game originates, players have the option to talk to the guys via their microphone and get AI generated responses. Okay, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right, guys. You purchased those responses. You purchased the responses. It's not AI. I don't think it's AI generated. Somebody confirm that for me in the comments down below. But I'm pretty sure, like, I'm 85% sure that it's not AI generated. It's another example of AI as an open, non-judgmental ear for our problems. Some players say the game has helped them realize what they were missing in their own real-life relationships. According to one Redditor, the game helped them learn what it means to be loved and treasured. Some players are lobbying for the game to be rated 17 plus, so they can get even more explicit. It's currently rated 12 plus in the Apple Game Store. I agree. But that's interesting. This is also something that I don't know if you guys remember, but I allude to this once in a while. Something happened last year when there was a rapper who tried to diss Otome Games and use Love in Deep Space as the example of what's corrupting the youth. And when he says the youth, he means like the female youth, and he did that to defend, I think, this female artist who had called one of love interests her husband and was getting bashed on the internet or whatever. And then there were a lot of like netizens who were like, no, Love in Deep Space is not, there's a lot of double standards in this argument, and two, there was a mom who actually said that she likes her daughter playing Otome games, and particularly Love in Deep Space, because it sets a good example of what she would want her daughter to date, of like the kind of man that she would want her daughter to date. So there is something to be said about that. There is something to be said about how I guess open and a little bit more vulnerable these men are in the game as opposed to real life guys. And I don't think that it's a bad thing to set some of your standards to what the examples are in Love in Deep Space. When it comes to like physical attributes and like the money and the wealth and stuff like that, like the the extravagant stuff that make it very fantasy like, I think that's kind of unrealistic. But when it comes to like how to be treated, how to be cared for, the kind of communication and openness that you can have in terms of conversation and being vulnerable, I think that is actually what really attracts the female player, as opposed to like the bad boy s, the yandere, the the shy doctor or whatever, you know, or the cold doctor rather. I feel like those things are a little bit less important as opposed to the connection that the player feels on an emotional level and on an intellectual level as well. So hopefully I explained that well. The game helped me realize that when it comes to relationships, I want more of that yearning. Ooh, yeah, there's a lack of yearning in today's society, 100%. But let's continue reading. While for me, the game won't be an actual replacement for dating, same, it did help me realize that when it comes to relationships, I want more of that yearning. I want a supportive partner who will be with me in both the good and the bad. I want someone who truly loves me for me, who is excited for my wins and can comfort me during my losses. It even showed me that while I love dark, broody characters in fiction, I might actually be interested in shy, sunny personalities in real life. It also showed me that I deserve someone who desires me, and it gave me hope that someone might be out there. It took the main character several lifetimes to be able to find the loves of her life again, so I can definitely be patient. In the meantime, I'll be playing with my 5 fictional boyfriends, so if you happen to be a hot cardiac surgeon named Zane, well, I'll be waiting for you. So she's a Zane girly. That is actually really cute. You know what? I bite my tongue. I take back all of the words that I said. I really enjoyed this article. This article was actually a very healthy point of view and portrayal of what love at Deepspace is. I should have read it sooner. I apologize to the first person who asked me to do this. Again, I can't find your tweet. I'm so sorry. I get bombarded by notifications every day. I am so sorry. And that's truly because I yap a lot and people just like some stuff that I post. So I am sorry to you. Again, if you watch this video, leave a comment down below, and I promise I'll apologize to you via comment. But yeah, there is that. I really genuinely like this article. There's a lot to be said about the connections that people have in person nowadays as to the connection that we have with the characters in the game. And it's crazy. It really is kind of crazy. It's also really sad, you know? It really is sad because the characters in game, they don't have that, I guess, that hesitation of getting to know somebody. And truthfully, the characters in game also already know the MC. You know what I'm saying? Like Caleb and Zane were both friends since they were kids with MC, and then Raphael has a history with MC, Xavier has a history with MC, and also Silas has a history. So it is definitely not a one-to-one to real life, because when you're meeting somebody in real life, they don't know you already. They don't have this history with you already, not unless you're living in like a Korean drama or something and you guys were reincarnated. But it would be easier if you could find like a soulmate, or if there was a way to see soulmates or whatever, or twin flames, or however you want to call it. It just takes a lot more work. It is a lot more work to find your significant other in person, as opposed to, of course, in a game where everything is already calculated out, where everything is supposed to be played out a certain way. But I do also agree that there is something to be learned in Love in Deepspace when it comes to finding what your preferences are, finding what kind of love you really want to have in terms of how do you talk to other people's, how do you understand other people, and also what kind of qualities that you would like in your potential partner, whether that be a female or a male or anything in between, you know? So it is nice to model, quote unquote, model your future relationships off of the way that conversations are held in Love in Deepspace, but it is also cautionary. You should be you shouldn't expect to fall in love with somebody who owns a black market underground corporation who is a billion trillionaire and a dragon. So there is a line of realistic expectations that I think that people should also be aware of, you know. But that is my take on this. I really like this article. This was actually a really good article. And I also enjoy the fact that she comes from somewhere where she is like a book talk girly. You know, she said that she read a lot of books. She is like the romance guru in Cosmopolitan. Since she comes from that like section of the company. So that is nice too, because she has more of a scope of like the genre of romance as opposed to having a very closed experience with it. It's not only her experience with romance, but it's like the experience that she's been reading about in different books or in different media, you know, those kind of things. It's the same way as, say, for me, like, I talk about gacha games, but I talk about gacha games like Love and Deepspace with my prior knowledge coming from different games. Like, that's what I'm trying to allude it to. So yeah, I enjoyed this. This was great. This is great. Maybe I shouldn't judge things before I read it. Man, shame on me. Eh. Badland. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I really enjoyed this. If you guys have any other recommendations, if you have recommendations and you have a Discord, go ahead and join our Discord server that I made recently. If you've watched my previous videos, you probably think I'm a broken record, but this is our Discord server. It's called Lynn's Lovelies, and yeah, built it out. Still working out some kinks and whatnot, but hey, we're fully functional, we're operating, and there's a pretty large and growing community here, and I'm very happy to see everybody here. And right now everybody's just panicking and posting all of their Illusio stuff which is fantastic. I like seeing everybody's little posts here. So that is pretty much it. If you would like to also just tag me on Twitter or send me links on Twitter or something, you can definitely do that. But the easiest way to find me is definitely through our Discord server. And then you can drop it in the Goblin Dropbox. So like people have put suggestions in here for me to like react to and talk about. So yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to subscribe to the channel, go ahead and do that. And also if you want to become a member and support the channel in one way or another, that is a wonderful way to do it. I will also be doing like exclusive member only live streams, and also you'll get previews or first watches of different videos that I put out. So that is that. Thank you again, and I will see you lovelies in the next video. Bye bye now.